Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Hello, YouTube. How are you guys? Welcome to our Saturday Live. And, for some of you, is our Saturday class. So happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back. If you are always join me every Saturday, or just I want to say welcome if you're new over here to the channel. My name is Sinandra, and I am your guide for mindset transformation. Um, and if you are ready, like to prioritize yourself, your healing, your growth, and your personal development journey, you are in the right place right here, Peach Gorilla. Hello, Lorena. Hello, everyone. Hello, woohoo. So I love people. I work with hundreds of individuals from all different walks of life, professional, parents, entrepreneur, corporate leaders, creators, co-creators, people like rebuilding themselves, like after pain, burnout, divorce, disappointment, or simply people like you and I that are waking up, our consciousness and realizing I cannot continue disconnected from myself, right? Um, I help really people wake up and take control of their journey and realign their identity, their stories, their habits, their really emotions, and most of all, their energy and their behaviors. Um, but align everything to the person that they desire to become. And here is a big bam for me. It's like I work with people who are truly open for coaching, right? People willing to do the work, people who finally made a decision to prioritize themselves. And if this is you, please check out my information in the chat. My information is in the description here. So let's connect. And the Saturdays, I come live and I bring normally a new topic, uh, like a new awareness for your week, for yourself, and practices for you to implement into your real life, because mindset work is not about motivation only, right? It's about transformation through you implementing this practice into your life and see how it feels, how it works for you, and if it does work, because some of this practice you need to really be conscious about and implementing. But today's topic, it is victim or co-created, or you are a victim or you are co-creating your life. The energy you live from is creating your reality. So that's what we're going to talk about here. And if you are here live, say hello in the chat. I already see some nice people over here. Hello, João. Hello, Timothy. Hello, Lorena. um, Tell me where you're watching me from. I see Brazil, I see Florida here. And if this topic already, victim or co-creation, aligns with you, Florida, hoo-hoo. Please, I want to ask you to pause and share this live with someone to help our community to grow. I want to really you to pause right now and think about who could really benefit from this topic, victim or co-creation, right? So this is the topic for today, and I want to begin and reflect with you on this. There are people, most people actually, that are moving through life unconsciously. Okay. Um, and let me give you an example. They wake up, they go to work, they pay bills, they complain, they blame other people, they scroll down social media, they repeat the same emotional patterns every single day. And many never fully stop and ask, who am I becoming doing this, right? Not what I'm buying in the internet, not who offended me, not who throughout my day hurt me, but who am I becoming through the way I think, I feel, I react, and I live my life. Many people spend most of their lives trapped in survival mode and victimhood. And I say this with love. Victimhood disconnect you from your power. And here is a big awakening for you and for our time today. There are only two places you and I can exist from in this world, okay? Or we either are victims or we are co creators. You cannot be in the same time in the same in both places. You cannot be a victim and a co-creator. So victims do not co-create dreams and goals, okay? Because the moment your vibration field is rooted in blame, complaint, resentment, jealousy, or victimization, you stop creating right there. Your life becomes emotionally frozen, and people do not realize this. Remember, energy repels and attracts, right? So when your emotional field is operating in victimhood, you start repelling what? Opportunities, healthy relationships, money, partnerships, clients, ideas, healing, expansion, and growth. Not because life hates you and your curse, okay? Because your internal state is not aligned with receiving. So I want you to pause right here and let these words, this new perspective, sink in. And this is where people get uncomfortable. Some people live the life. Some people get angry at me because many people want transformation without accountability, right? I want to lose 20 pounds, but I want to drink beer and eat pizza every day. That's not really good math. Some people just, they want abundance while constantly complaining. They want a peace while constantly judging. They want a health relationships while constantly attacking others emotionally. But energy does not lie. You cannot say, I want to be prosper and have all this jealousy and unhealed wounds inside of you, right? What you repeatedly think, speak, and emotionally rehearse becomes your reality, your personal code, your energy code. When someone is vibrating in victimhood, they naturally begin operating from what? Judgment. They criticize, they attack others, they complain, they gossip, they blame, they project. And this behavior becomes so normalized for a person that it is in this loop that they no longer even recognize they are judging others. So listen carefully. The behavior of someone who judges is simply attacking and criticizing, complaining, and constantly speaking negative about others. Um, Sometimes people genuinely believe under this loop. Everyone is jealous of me. Everyone is against me. People cannot handle my truth. Really? Really? But many times that beliefs is not an intuition, a feeling, is the code that you are living in. It's an unhealed personal insecurity that you have inside of you. And healing requires radical self awareness. So if you are not aware, you cannot heal. Okay. This is why many people walk away from conversations when the coach, when a true friend or a family member comes and tell you the truth. I see so many people leaving lives, podcasts, and coaching sessions, also relationships, in the moment that they feel uncomfortable with the conversation. But the truth is, healing begins in discomfort. Okay. I want everyone listening right now to hear this. The moment something triggers you emotionally, that is your doorway. Here is an opportunity for me to look inside of me and heal whatever triggered me. Because if it keeps showing up, it's yours, it's in your life. The moment something irritates you, that is a doorway for you. The moment you become defensive, oh, I don't like that, that's a doorway for you to heal, see from a different lens. Because transformation begins when awareness meets intentional honesty. If something bothers you, it is because something needs to be worked out. It needs to be healed. It's not because, oh, it just keeps showing up the same situations and is outside of me the answer. Most people spend years avoiding themselves. What they do, they avoid silence. Oh, I hate meditation. My mind is very active. You are 30 years old, you try to meditate 4 times in your lifetime. So how can you hate something that you really didn't give a full chance? When you give a chance for a new perspective, when the moment that you become defensive, irritated, and you take that as an opportunity, as a doorway for you to take a stand for yourself and be aware of the emotional trigger. Avoiding, for example, reflection is not a topic for you anymore. Most people avoid accountability. And when you do that, you are normally avoiding healing in any situations in your life. But you cannot transform what you refuse to acknowledge. So I want you to pause here and bring that new perspective that we just discussed to your week. And I want to ask you a real question today. I want us to pause right here and think, what part of you is still reacting like a victim in your life? Find a silence moment in your day and think about this. Is the part that gets offended easily, possibly? The part that compares? What it is for you, the part that you feel unseen? It could be that part. The part that constantly need validation is that, did I do good? Did that meeting went well? The part that blames other is a lot for a lot of people. There is a part inside of each of us that blames others for our emotional state. Yeah, yes, it is. Because inside of many adults, still live an unhealed version of themselves, asking for love, healing, safety, and awareness. And this is important. When you pause and you look at complaining, That is also co-creating, right? When you pause and look at judgment, that is also co-creation, because everything you think, you feel, you speak, and emotionally project into the world is actually shaping your reality, right? And from the perspective that we are here to evolve, right? We are here to heal, to awaken, and to impact all the lives of the people around us, the people that we really touch every day, right? Everything we wish upon others, we are also co-creating within ourselves. So think about that. Your life is not only about what you want, it is about who you are right now and who you are becoming, right? So now I want to give you two mindset practice for you to implement this week in your life. These are not just feel good exercises. These are two awareness practice that help many of my clients, and I want you to take with you this week. So the number one is going to be the victim language detox. Okay, so I want you for the next 7 days until we see each other next Saturday. Observe your language, because nobody can do that for you, only you, right? So in every time you catch yourself saying, they made me feel, nothing works for me, people always, I never get the opportunities, no one support me, I really want you to pause. Okay, so search for those, and I want you to replace with, what can I learn from this situation, from this moment? How can I respond differently? And replace with that, what part of me needs healing or responsibility right now? This practice builds emotional ownership. And sometimes that is what we are missing, because we are very fast pointing our fingers out, but we have two fingers right here, right? Because empowered people take responsibility for their energy. Life does not happen to you. Oh, to me, this happens to me. No, life happens for you to evolve, for you to tap into awareness, for you to be more responsible about the energy that you share with the world. And the second practice is the trigger journal. Oh, this one, sometimes when I meet with people, we laugh together. That triggers me, and that's how I respond. It's very easy to see things when you are working in your personal development and paying attention. So this week, every time someone or something triggers you emotionally, do not react immediately. Instead, ask yourself, why did this activate me? What wound is asking to be seen? Because if this person really bothers me, it's something that I need to look inside, right? What belief about myself is underneath this emotion that is triggering me? So this is your homework for this week. Remember, triggers are teachers. They are not there to make you feel emotionally imbalanced. They are there to teach you about who you are. And that is personal development. Your emotional reactions reveal the places inside of you asking for healing. That's all. So write it down and listening to every emotion. Start listening to your emotions, and what comes up for you from those writing downs, what is your triggers, and creating a practice for yourself where you can learn. You can learn to meet you, to reconnect to you. And let me say this clearly: healing is not becoming perfect, okay? Healing is becoming conscious, it's becoming aware enough to interrupt that destructive pattern that is in your life for years. It is realizing, I no longer want to live emotionally unconscious in the automatic. And that's powerful. Okay. So today I invite you to stop asking only, what do I want from life? And start asking yourself, who am I becoming through the way I live? That is the question for this week, because your identity creates your reality. And this is why I teach, this is why I serve, this is why I coach, why I collaborate with so many incredible clients around the world. I work with people who are awakening, because personal transformation is a consistent, continuous effort. People finally that choose themselves, people ready to stop surviving and start consciously creating. And if this message resonate with you today, I want you to type in the chat, like, I choose to become a co-creator. If this life was helpful, I want to ask you to share with someone who needs this message. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and remember, your healing impacts every relationship, every opportunity, every room, and every future version of yourself that you are about to step into. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Have a beautiful Saturday. Protect your energy, protect your mind, and most importantly, prioritize you. See you next Saturday, everyone.